Okay, so off of that, what I call vestibule, there was on either side these little rooms. Okay, and I saw one being used at one time. It looked as if, because he came out with one of the priests that I believe was probably doing confession or something because he was about to receive Eucharist, right? So, and the one to the right, that was where they had rested Iveron after the service. Okay. And when we came up towards there, the case was there. The velvet around the case was there. And she wasn't there. And one of the nuns, we had told, is there any possible way we might be able to get some, cotton or, Q-tips or, little cards? And she said, yes, I'm going to go get some for you. So that took a while to acquire. Now, surrounded is that woman who I said, had been directing people in lines, who I didn't know who she was. And there was another gentleman sitting there who I had seen from the beginning, and when I walked in, I'm saying. And I didn't know who he was. And then there were, various nuns around this and that. So they had said something about, she's not there and, she's going to come back. Well, my friend and I had the opportunity to look inside the case because it's presented right there. And we saw all of these little notes that I think he said were, people who had, received miracles of their healings and things like that. And they were oil soaked, of course. And then I still have oil on my glasses. I saw the beaded area of where there was more myrrh having come up all the way onto the glass itself. And then we decided to look over at the blue velvet portion and to smell it, because that smell is just so distinctive. Okay. So while I'm standing there, I have the vantage point to see inside behind this area where was sitting a nun who was holding and saying prayers over the icon, holding the actual icon. That was incredible to see in and of itself. I can't even begin to describe that. And it was so special that I said to my friend, she's in there praying. She's holding the icon. And he had never seen anything like that either. I don't think. I should ask him. And he went to spy and see too. And I'm sure that he was just as deeply touched as I was, because there was something absolutely beautiful about that. So then, like I said, we got our other things and we walked our way out. And then we were being ushered towards lunch. Now, one of the ladies who goes regularly to the church I attend was there, and we recognized each other, and then all three of us were kind of walking together, and we thought that we were going to be separated as men and women, and that she and I decided we would probably try to sit together. Such was not the case. I was ushered far off the opposite direction. So I'm standing, and I had sort of tried to say to one of the nuns, I was trying to, and then she said, you can sit here. I said, I was trying, and then she said, it's all right, you can stay here. And I was like, okay, thank you. Because, like, what am I going to do? Not show gratitude? She's offering me a seat for lunch, right? So I looked at that other lady that was standing there, because it was just a table for two. And I said, well, I guess we'll make a new friend. So all the prayers are said, and then it's finally the time. when there's a nun who's going to be reading something the whole time. And it's kind of like supposed to be a sort of silent lunch, but there's little bits of chatting, but just not a great deal of it. And it was interesting, the foods they had laid out. There was, what was that called? Yeah, there was a quiche, little pieces of quiche. There was a salad. There was a bulgur salad too. There was bread. There were cakes. There was coffee and tea and water. So it was very sweet because we both kept like trying to offer each other food and drinks, and we both were feeding each other, like not feeding each other, but I don't know. So that was very sweet. And over a very long period of time, it took a while, we finally exchanged names. And hers is, let's see, what was her name? Joanna. Okay. So Joanna and I sat, and I found out, because she only took like the salad and some coffee, and she was looking at everything, and there was all she could take. And I found out she had allergies. So, and I do too. I avoid a lot of different foods, but none of them I had to worry about there, because I avoided what I could have, but the rest of it I could. It was good for me, but she said, well, I'm probably going to be hungry. I don't even know if she said anything about it, that she was probably going to be hungry down the road or anything, but I knew that she couldn't eat most of the meal. And I said, oh, that's okay. I have 2 power bars, And she said, what? I said, yeah, here, you can look over the ingredients and just take the one that will suit you, and I'll just take the other. And that helped her out, so I was glad I could do that. And yeah, we just chatted a wee bit and made friends. It was really very sweet. But a lot of what we communicated through were just emotions. So, silent lunch. Okay. So we were finally through with that. And then we were all processed. Oh, that's right. Now, on the website for St. Paisius, there is instruction. Do not take the prosper bread if you are not Orthodox. Okay? So when they came around with it at the end of the meal, after they had done all their prayers, there was some sort of a beautiful bell-looking thing that one of the nuns rang, while the other was giving forth all those pieces. So again, I was the only person who had to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't take them. And then we walked our way out, and then I knew that Joanna and this other group of pilgrims that were traveling with the Archbishop all the way from LA were going to also be visiting our church the following day. So I said, well, I'll see you at my church. So that was that. Then my friend and I went about to drive home, and I could just rest only just a little time, because the second, really 2 hours later, I was off again. So now I'll tell you what happened at the Greek church. Pray blessings of peace.